Good evening, New York City, the world, the universe, and beyond. Shakti, namaste. My name is Kirk Kerber. I'm known professionally as one of New York City's top-rated psychics. I'm a natural-born psychic trance medium, and for the last 35 plus years, I have studied metaphysics and accrued knowledge and wisdom for the benefit of my clients and the people that I work with. I'm also a certified therapeutic hypnotist specializing in PTSD as well as PTSD for transgender clients who are transitioning, among other things. I've also hosted and produced over 700 cable TV shows in New York City, Manhattan, late night cable TV. And all 700 shows are based in metaphysical, spiritual, psychic topics, supernatural, spiritual, mystical, magical, metaphysical. Shakti. Let me just get into my body here. I got the shaman hair going on. My trademark is the shaman hair, and it's wild. It can't be tamed. It connects me to the universe. Oh, let's take a deep breath, and you're letting go. Shakti, namaste. So, I had a request for 20 questions. This is the second practice vid. The first one, I did the whole vid, a perfect hour, and it came out with no sound. My TV show in the first 5 years was infamous for its tech problems. So, I'm a great shaman. I'm a power psychic, trance medium, channeler, healer. I'm a healer first and foremost. That's my baseline in any time I work with a person. I've told the universe to give me people and bring me the people that wish to have a healing. So it's not just a reading and it's not just a channeling for you. It's a healing for the benefit of your soul to expand and evolve upward and purify and streamline for your psychic spiritual power and ascension is what I was looking for. So, having said all that, if you want to know my further resume, I'm actually on LinkedIn. I have a full website of spiritual arts healing services that I provide. And I'd just like you to know, my readings take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So clients, they get a reading and they're like, when can I come back? When can I get another reading? And I tell them 3 months bare minimum, but more like 6. So my readings are dense, past life, Akashic Records readings, and also life readings for your soul plan in this lifetime. I literally read what you wrote before you incarnated, and I tell you exactly what's on it. Even though you wrote it, when you were born, you agreed to forget what you wanted to do and be. And sometimes people get lost along the way, and I'm just like that guy that knocks you back on course. We get you unstuck, and we get rid of the stagnation. So yes, first and foremost, I'm a healer who happens to be a psychic medium. And like I said, I've also studied metaphysics to acquire wisdom, knowledge, and power for your benefit. So, 20 questions for a psychic trance medium. Number 1. Oh, okay, take a deep breath with me. Right from the solar plexus. Okay. Even though I've made almost 1,000 videos and cable TV programs, about 400 of those are online right now, I still get nervous when the camera comes on, believe it or not. So, you got to find a higher power that's bigger than your fear. I believe that all paths lead to the divine ultimately, and every soul's destiny is the same: to ascend, to evolve, and accrue knowledge and wisdom. That's it. That's the journey. So we accrue knowledge, wisdom, and power, and then we turn around and help the next person. My guides tell me to make another quick introduction. So I'm 60 years old. I've had 5 near-death experiences, and I've been to the outer regions of the netherworld, the farthest away from God you can be. And then I've also heard the voice of God and channeled the voice of God for my clients. I literally kind of quasi gave somebody a reading, and she said, I literally am hearing the voice of God right now. But once again, that's all for your benefit. I don't get my attention focused somewhere where it shouldn't be. My psychic and spiritual power comes through me into you and your life and your life force. It comes through me, not out of me. And I'm very clear about that. When I was 24, I got sober. So I was an alcoholic, drug addict mess. I was out of people. I was out of money. I was 3,000 miles from home. And I got sober. I was living in something called an SRO in Manhattan. SRO stands for standing room only. It's these little tiny, like boarding hotel, and it's just a bed and a bathroom, and that's it. And a friend of mine from college called me, and he said, you have got to talk to this friend of mine, Marta. She's a psychic. She's a working psychic. This was in 1984. So probably a lot of you weren't even born then. But so I was 24, and I called this psychic, and she said, I said, why am I here? And she knew what I meant. Why am I here in this lifetime? You know, I was asking her for the type of reading that I actually give people now. You know, what am I doing here? How did I get into this body? Everything feels awful. Detoxing as I was, and she said, "You're a teacher. You came here to teach, and you have all psychic gifts that a person can have." And I didn't believe her, and it took over 20 years to absorb and accept that as my reality. But you know, she mentored me about 3 months, and then she turned me loose. You know, enough. Go out into the world, fly and be free. I bought a pack of tarot cards, and I started giving readings, and I started studying the tarot. And for the next 20 years, I gave free readings to anybody and everybody that would let me read for them in varying lengths. And that's how I streamlined myself. You're going to have your own personality as a healer. You know, I'm like, because I'm more of an old soul, I'm very direct. I'm right to the point. I'm not going to waste your time. If you ask me an answer and I'm in trance for you on the Zoom, one of 3 things is going to happen. You know, I'm going to get the answer immediately. It's not always what you say, it's how you say it. So I try to not soften the blow, but, you know, here's what I'm getting, and be very compassionate and kind. And then other times I can just be like, this is it. This is the only answer. That's what the guides say. That's what my avatars tell me to tell you at this time. And then in some cases, I don't get any answer. And that just kind of goes, that kind of confidence just comes with being a seasoned medium, that there really are things that, like, for whatever reason at that time, there's just no answer. It's like crickets. And that has happened. It doesn't happen a lot, but, you know, that really lets you know that I'm the real deal, because a person that's only mediocre talent, they're just, if they don't get anything, they're not going to tell the person. They're just going to be like, make some bullshit up. So old soul healers, like, little tiny bit of bullshit, but in a little bit of a show, a little bit of theatrics when I read, but really I stay in my body. I read from my body, And if I don't get the answer, I'll just go, next question. I'm not getting anything. Maybe I'll get it next week. Readings take place as soon, and as a professional psychic now and channeler and reader at this point, the reading starts when the client pays for the session, pays for the life reading. That is, the money is the agreement for them to be read, and I do not go into anybody's mind. I have a wave of integrity with respect to my gift. I don't read anybody. I'm not supposed to. I don't go into anybody's mind. I don't really look at things that are none of my business. I am just in my own energy. You use the gift right and in a right way, the gift will become more powerful. You use the gift in a fucked up way for your own personal power, the gift is going to be dissipated. Okay? So you are allowed, I don't want to get into a talk about law of attraction, metaphysics, because people really have those confused. It's like, I made a parking space and I told Jesus, or I told, Hecate, I wanted a parking space at the front, and then I got it. And now I'm psychic. That has nothing to do with psychic ability. It has nothing to do with it. That is not even in the realm of psychic ability. So, psychic ability is actually, there's a difference between being a medium and there's a difference between being a psychic. So, all psychics are mediums, but not all mediums are psychic. And that's a little hard one to absorb, but a medium is really like going into a trance, and then you can channel, or you can connect people to their loved ones. In my case, I'm also a therapeutic hypnotist, so I can do regression. But regression is not being a psychic, and it's not even being a medium, actually. But it's just, people have a tendency to throw everything in one box or one bag and be like, oh, that's psychic, and then say, there's no such thing as psychic ability. But I did get a parking lot. Okay, so, I've been talking about metaphysics in front of a camera now. It's going on 20 years. And the TV show pre-COVID was live call-in, and people just call in and ask a question. So we would get everything, you know what I mean? And some people were sincere, and some people approached psychic ability with reverence and the sacredness that it is and should be. It comes from God. Psychic gifts come from God. There are awful cretin harpies that do have a lot of psychic power and psychic gifts and magic, and they misuse it. I mean, the jury's out about Crowley, so Aleister Crowley, take Edgar Cayce. He did nothing but was in loving service to humanity for his entire life. I mean, for like 40 years, Edgar Cayce channeled and gave channeled readings either by somebody writing a letter or somebody coming to him in person. So, you have good witch, bad witch. We'll leave it at that. So, let's just start with the 20 questions, because I know you're like, where are the 20 questions? Like, that was 5 vids ago. So I just started making YouTube videos after 2 years. During COVID, I made no videos. I decided to just go in deep with the COVID experience. Me and my dog, we sat here. I mean, I was in the same pajamas month after month. I kind of lost contact with going to the studio. The studio was closed. So, like, my muscles to, produce the show, be in front of the camera, I've kind of like lost that baseline. And so I just started. I thought, It's time for me to start making videos again. So yeah, there's over, I don't know, around 400 hours of video content online. Some of them are horrific. You want a deep dive, you can just, you could watch my videos for about 2 months and never repeat them. And what I found out is that the people that watch my videos, they want a long, deep dive podcast, like they're spending time with me, like a Joe Rogan. His shows go like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe 2 hours. So they've told me they want to spend time with me. So here we are. So each vid right now is about an hour. Most of the TV shows, and I interviewed about 20 people that I thought were very spiritually powerful and very much in the light and very much a good witch, a good psychic, a good person. And I interviewed people from all over the world from the studio. And so those interviews are actually on YouTube right now. People that were making a change and being the change. So having said that, okay, let's get to it. 20 questions for a psychic medium. Kirk, do you believe in God? Question 1. I've addressed this in other videos and especially the new content. Absolutely. I believe in God because I'm psychic. I believe in God because I'm a healer. I believe in God because God healed me. I believe in God because I've seen angels. I believe in God because of my dog. God gave me a dog that was really like an angel in a body. All of the above. I've watched people die. I've watched people come back to life. I've done exorcisms on people in a shamanic sense. So absolutely believe in God. I go in there with divine white light and nothing can hurt you at that point. Once again, it comes through you, not out of you. Question 2. Do you see dead people? I see drunk people. I live in Midtown Manhattan, Hell's Kitchen. Do I see dead people? That's kind of a joke question. The fact of the matter is, ghosts. There's a host of different things. There's ghosts, and a lot of the ghosts don't know they're dead. Then there's disincarnated spirits who have been dead for a long time, and they really aren't a ghost anymore. They're like disincarnated spirits. And they have the intention of not going to the light and taking a new body. They just want to hang on the astral realm and then try to find somebody and attach to the person and like try to drink or have sex through that person's body. So those are more like a parasitic spirit. Let me see. There's people that generally, they know that they're dead. They know they don't have their body anymore, but they don't know what to do or where to go. And for some reason or whatever reason, the light didn't come and get them. And so as a shamanic healer, when I encounter those people and communicate with them, you create a golden door and tell them, go through this, and they go through it and they go to the other side and their angels pick them up. Another type of ghost is when a person dies, energetically they just drop their whole aura. It's almost like a snake shedding its skin, and that aura energetically can hang around. And so sometimes people get that confused with the ghost, but the fact of the matter is it's not a proper ghost. A proper ghost is the essence of the person. The essence of the person that passed. Okay, the energetic footprint. When a person passes, all that energy of the thing they were, their aura got energized. They let go of it, and that's why you have all these funeral rites, because the main intention is you don't want that thing hanging around. And if somebody doesn't mourn properly, they will hang and hold on to that thing and even use it and put it on maybe like a coat, in the case of like a husband and a wife. Say the husband dies, the wife will just keep that energy around and keep it going and use it maybe for good or for bad or for whatever. They just want that husband's energy. They refuse to acknowledge that they're gone. And so they keep energizing that thing. And so I think that's about it. I do see dead people. I don't connect a lot of clients to their relatives. It's not particularly what I do. Sometimes it comes up in a reading, and when it does, I'm more than happy to accommodate my client. Can you tell me my fortune or my future? This is like an unbelievable misconception. I'm going to blame Hollywood. You have a fortune teller. You have, in the movies, and you have a fortune teller and you have a future teller. I'm going to tell you your future with the cards. What is it going to be? I tell you your future because you wrote it before you incarnated. Now, I can throw tarot cards and see stuff, and then I riff between getting the channeling, getting the reading from my own sources, through my body, through divine intelligence. And then I also throw the cards to also be able to show the client if it's in person, or take a picture of the reading and send it to the client with an email and say, you've got the devil card, the Scorpio card, which is the death card, the devil, which is Capricorn, and you've got the Nine of Swords. You're either like going through a grave mental, physical illness, or you're bottoming out on alcohol or cocaine or some drug. Like after you've been throwing the tarot, and I use just a standard tarot, except in the case of I use the El Goliath deck to study. So if you don't know about the El Goliath deck, check out his channel. I'll put some info right down there. And he's my buddy, and he created a deck that is unbelievably powerful, potent. It's for old souls. But when I read, I just read with the Rider-Waite basic. Throw it out. And after you've been doing this for 30, 35 years, it's kind of like paint by numbers. I mean, it's kind of like really hard to fuck up the reading. You know what I'm saying? If you really know what you're doing, it's just like, here it is. It's so simple, and this is exactly what I also got. I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. So I get it in like 4D stereo. And then then it shows up in the cards as well on the table. And everybody's happy, and it makes sense. And the client's like, this is blowing me away. So I'm like, and I point to the cards like, here are your choices. So, if you stay here, you're going to get the devil and the Nine of Swords. You're going to get the Swords cards. You're going to get the Three of Swords. You're going to get the devil and the death card. Death almost never means actual death, except when it does. But if you just get the death card, it doesn't mean you're going to die. It means you're about to have an incredible, beautiful transformation. So the death card, it would have to be surrounded by 7 or 8 other supporting cards. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, well, this person's going to die. Sorry, the phone. So, okay, so that's, do you see dead people? Can you tell me my future or my fortune? I can. But I'm not a fortune teller, and I'm not here for your amusement to like make you believe in psychics or something. If you don't, there's like a whole bunch of channels right there somewhere. Go and click on one and have a nice life. If you're psychic, why don't you just win lotto? Working on it, bro. Working on it. There is people that have used their psychic powers to win the lotto. Helen Hadsell, for one. There's a guy in Australia that's won the lotto 3 times. They're using some kind of psychic spiritual magical power to attract these. So yes, it is possible. Uh, what about the Bible? Question 5. So, this is what I think. I mean, people, when I've told people in the past what I do for a living, or that I read cards, or that I was a born psychic, I was born this way, they bring up the Christian Bible, usually like the Old Testament, and there's like a couple passages about being a necromancer. Sorry. You're a necromancer. If you don't know what it means, look it up. You're evil, and there's like a couple other phrases, and it's all lumped into one. And they're like, "Do you take Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?" And they start like trying to do an exorcism on you. And your Christian Bible, by the way, also states that when you draw close to God, and you try to help others, and you get divine grace, you will receive the gifts of prophecy, of healing. We're called to be like Jesus. Jesus had the gift of prophecy. He had the gift of healing. He had the gift of knowledge. He had the gift of wisdom. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to become like Christ. So, I have the gift of prophecy and wisdom and knowledge and healing, and it comes from God. Thank you very much. Do you read cards, read palms, or read astrology? Okay, I already covered that. I read the tarot. The tarot is ideally suited to a person that is most visual and has a visual sense of symbols. And so at 24, when I picked up the tarot, I was uniquely suited to it. I'm a visual artist. I also shot portraits, so I've been framing stuff. I studied colors and symbols. And so my gift manifested originally as reading cards. Now, if you're an astrologer, you probably went to astrology when you were, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 years old. You know what I mean? That would be your natural gift. I have a hard time with numbers, and there's a lot of numbers in the tarot, and a lot of magic has to do with numbers. But if you think in a numerical type of construct all the time, astrology is probably your gig. It has to do with basically numbers and rules. The tarot versus astrology. Tarot is a little more clairsentient and claircognizant. But that doesn't mean an astrologer can't be psychic. But I'm going to tell you right now 2 things. All card readers are not psychic. Just because somebody reads cards does not make them psychic. You can go and buy a pack of tarot cards and throw them on the table. It doesn't make you a psychic. So a reader, it gives readings. That's all they give. You know what I mean? You have to ask the person the question, are you psychic? But it does not always follow that an astrologer or a tarot reading person is a psychic. It just means they're readers. It just means the astrologer is an astrologer. So what you're really looking for is, once again, that next level. My astrologer is Liz Pressman. She's on Facebook. I would recommend her. Like the back of my hand. I would trust it, if that makes sense. Yeah, Liz Pressman is a crackerjack astrologer. She's a good witch. She's beautiful. Her readings are magical and funny and fun, and I couldn't recommend her enough. And she is a psychic as well. Okay, and she does all my astrology stuff. So yes. Do you have a message for me? Yes, the message is keep watching my vids and you will get a magical healing. When I tell people in person, if I dare at a party or something, that's exactly what they will say. Are you getting a message? Are you getting a message for me? I'm like, no, I'm at a party and I'm not working and I'm not in my temple and I haven't prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can actually automatically read on cue. I can, because I have certain clients that text me and they're on paying me a retainer fee for a couple of months And they're like, "What do you think of this? What is your take on this?" So, uh, like from like 2 up until like 11 o'clock at night, I have to be in the hot zone with my gift. So, but do I like just read for people? No, I don't work for free. I worked for free for 20 years. But I will not ever do it again. How do you get your messages? I get my messages. I go into a trance. If you watch my other videos, I give you like a little prep on white sage, incense, candles, also essential oils. Can all be part of the prep work, the pregame for the client or for the trance. I've been meditating right in this very spot, in this exact location for over 20 years on a daily basis. So it's kind of like there's no time that I'm not in a trance. I receive messages primarily through my ears. But I do see things a lot of times, and then I do feel things, and I do know things. So I have the gift of all the clairs, if you know what that means. Are you a witch? That's up for debate. Okay, so recently, when I first came to Manhattan, people that I worked with and that I knew, people made these jokingly kind of half mean comments. You're such a witch. You act like a witch. When you walk down the street, it's like a witch. And I'm just like, what? What are they saying? Why do they keep calling me a witch? And it happened so many times that I was like, am I a witch? I think witches are born. A witch is something you are. It's not something you do. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just a general term for you are the incarnation of magic. And if you are that, it's very, very important to know that about yourself. Because when you don't know that, you're still throwing spells and magic all over the place and really hurting a lot of people generally. And also, the magic can come back to bite you right on the ass if you don't know what you're doing. So, am I a witch? And, there was this whole thing like, oh, only women can be witches. That was the gender specific. It's a gender neutral term at this point. Maybe like in the 50s, people saw Bewitched. It was a TV show about a witch in the suburbs. Hollywood is really, really to blame for all the bad stereotypes. Even Sabrina, I can't think of any others. I'll think of them in a minute. Those kind of like quasi-sexy, lesbian, witchy things going on. They're hip, they're sexy, they're non-binary witches. So they did have a couple male witches, like Supernatural TV show, which was like 15 seasons. They had a couple male characters that were magic, not necessarily witches, but the long version, the short version, and to my contemporaries, am I a witch? Yes, a witch is something you are. It's not something you do, in my opinion. Now, you can belong to a coven, or you can be a pagan, or you can be a Wicca. We don't have time to like go into a whole identifying video about how you identify. But just generally in Manhattan, is he a witch? Yeah, he's a witch. He's a total witch. And there's a white witch and a black witch and a fucked up witch. Which witch are you? I took a vow to work with the light in this lifetime. Doesn't mean I always did it, but I took a vow. It was made very clear to me after I studied with my first teacher that I needed to take a vow and choose. So I chose the light. I chose the light. I chose the light. So I'm a good witch. I promise. Do you practice witchcraft? We already talked about that. I don't have to practice. I'm an expert. What happens after you die? Well, you might want to check out two books. We're 35. We might want Tibetan Book of Dead and Dying, Egyptian Book of Dead and Dying. Very specific things do happen when you die. And you have to know about these. And if you don't know that you're supposed to, when you're dying and leaving your body with this heave-ho at the end, if you don't know what to look for or you don't summon your angels, you can be one of those disincarnated spirits that I was talking about. And you don't want that. So you have to prepare. This lifetime is kind of like a preparation to die and go to the next transition. Just put that out there. So a lot of people believe this is the dream world, and the true reality is on the other side. Unconditional love and light. So right now you're in a dream world, getting ready to wake up, and you're walking toward that transition. What happens after you die? You go home. You get healed and you go home. There are times when, a lot of times you will go, if you're not banged up and need a hospital on the other side, which they have. Some people will just go automatically, their guides or their angels will tell their counselor, and they'll leave their body in this world and they'll go right to their counselor, like immediately for their life review. And then some people hang out. They want to say goodbye to somebody. They feel bad that they fucked somebody over. So their angels just kind of let them stay until they make amends, And a lot of times the spirit will stay until you are ready for them to go. But once again, the people, boots on the ground, they have to have proper mourning and grief. Otherwise, they will hold the person there longer than they're supposed to be there. Part of the deal here is that people die, and then we die, and then people are born, and then they die. So, mourning it's a package deal. It's all part of the process. And then I've just seen people go to the other side and you never hear from them again. My friend Andrew, he hated it here. He didn't like being in a body. He had a really painful, long, slow death, really messy, drugs, and other issues with the family. And he just got out of his body and he went straight home and never heard from him again. Okay. Why don't you contact famous people on the other side? I have, actually. James Dean. I'm thinking about trying to contact one of the scribes, somebody that was like a scribe for the Library of Alexandria. I'd really like to know what happened there. I would like to access the Akashic Records to find out. That is one thing that interests me. Not a lot of dead people interest me, to tell you the truth. I really don't go over my own past lives. I can kind of guess what they are. How do you get ready for a reading? That's been discussed in other videos. I'm basically live in a trance with most of me in the ethereal, in the ethers. Isn't everybody psychic? Okay, psychic ability goes along a continuum. Now, everybody has psychic abilities. Is everybody a psychic? No. So, yes, 97% of all people walking the planet do have some psychic ability and are psychic in that sense. Were they born psychics? And are they true psychics? And they're living, breathing, and they've studied, and they've done it in other lifetimes? No, that is unbelievably rare. So once again, I talk about, if I go and I take a piano lesson and I learn chopsticks, it doesn't make me a musician. It doesn't definitely make me a musician where people are going to go to Carnegie Hall and see me play chopsticks for $1,000 a ticket. So, once again, it kind of goes back to the parking lot thing. I mean, it's still like such a mess when people try it. Are you a psychic? Are you a reader? Are they the same thing? Do you work with cards? Astrology? All of this stuff needs to be clarified and then agreed upon and normalized. Do you work with the police? No, that's not how my gift works, actually. That would be an intuitive, somebody that uses psychometry. Let me touch the watch of the person missing. Let me go to the place. That's not how my gift works at all. And every psychic has a different interpretation and expression of their gift. So you have to find out beforehand what kind of readings they give. So I give life readings and I access the Akashic Records. Do you channel a spirit or an entity like Bashar? No, I don't. My first teacher told me, sorry, I got to move the camera a little bit. My first teacher told me, you're the real deal and there's no reason to leave your body whatsoever at all. You read from your body, you stay in your body, and that's the drill. And a real and true psychic does not leave their body or give their body up to some other thing. That would just be a basic channeler, And the person isn't even channeling. They're calling something else into their body to channel. So that would be actually like Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. He's basically just a medium. And he's allowing his body to be used. But is Daryl Anka a channeler? No. Is he psychic? No. He channels Bashar. I don't channel an entity. I don't leave my body. When did you know you were a full-on psychic? I was about 10 years old. And I was in my parents' kitchen and they were both there. It was just me and them. And I tried to send them a message psychically. And they didn't get it. And I just kept looking at them like, I'm sending you a message psychically. And then it suddenly dawned on me, they're not like me. So I was raised by muggles. Yes, I was. I was a little Harry Potter raised by muggles. And then when I got sober, my first teacher told me as well. Have you ever tried to contact any famous people as a medium? Yes, James Dean was really the one, and it worked, and it was awesome. I can't think of anybody else. I don't know, maybe Tupac. Ask him what happened. I'll have to think on that. But if you want to leave me some suggestions of people to contact in the comments, I would love that. How do you find a good psychic? Shakti, namaste. You won the prize. You actually found one. What's your advice for new mediums? Wow, that's going to be an entire other vid. Read as much as you can. It takes a very long time to find the thread and the trance-like state, so it's stable. And, become your own reader. Become your own medium. And by that I mean, some people are very bubbly and giggly, and some people are like very no bullshit and heavy, here it is. And there's every kind of person out there saying they're psychic or a medium. And you got to find your own personality. And just remember, psychics come and go on the internet all the time. They make up some name. I'm a big psychic. There's 50 videos, and then boom, they disappear. So it's the tortoise and the hare with this. You're probably born with the gift for psychic ability, mediumship, and channeling, and all three, and an old wise soul. It's a life thing. It's a lifelong thing that you're going to be with. Learn your craft, put your head down, do your work, and get some discipline. What's it like to be a medium? As much as it can be awesome and enlightening, and you are privy to a lot of insights, it can also be just as brutally bad. There's a lot of fallout from taking a walk around a person's soul. There just is. I mean, first of all their pain, their darkness, their fear, you're connecting to that. and then you're bringing light to it, and so there is a residue. It's kind of like the ring around the bathtub that can hang out if you don't know what you're doing. It's helped me just as much as it's hurt me. Why do different psychics get different answers? Well, first of all, different psychics give different ratings, but I think the question pertains to, if they're all psychic, why wouldn't they just get the same rating? Different psychics look at different things. Different psychics are different people. Different psychics have different perspectives, but I'm not going to defend it. There are some fake psychics that just make shit up. But if you go to 5 psychics and they're actually genuine psychics, the readings are basically going to be the same. Now, I'm going to tell you a short story and then we're going to wrap it up. So I had a client, and I usually do not talk about my clients ever online except in an unbelievably broad and general way. But I will tell you this one thing because it happened, and it was like, it shocked me, okay? And I learned something from every single reading that I do about me, about my craft, and about the world. True, true, and true. So this kid wanted to pursue a certain career. It was a big life choice and a big life decision, and it was going to take 15 years of his time to become this thing through college. Both of his parents were also in this profession, and he hired me to find out whether he should take a year off or 2 years off to enjoy his youth before he buckled down and committed to taking this college courses. So I kept seeing a lot of dynamics with his family that were just unbelievably fucked up. But then I was like, listen, on your timeline at 32, my guides aren't really good with numbers, and I'm not good with numbers, but it was like 32, you're going to have a life-changing event. And the guy stopped. He was taking notes, typing everything, which was completely fucking unnerving. You know what I mean? And anything I said, he just was like this loud typing, and it just fucked with my concentration. You should approach a reading in a very sacred, receptive way. But this guy was treating it like, I don't know, it was offensive. And so he said, are you sure it's 32? And I was like, yep, it's 32. And there's here's the thing. There's a soft read. There's kind of like a whisper, I kind of am getting a little bit blah, 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 this, that, the other thing. And then something comes up and you're like, it's like loud neon in your ears. It's so loud you can't ignore it. And it's there's no way could be any other way. And I told him at 32, there's going to be an event. I think there was going to be a debilitating accident. And he just kept saying, why are you saying that? Why is it 32? Are you sure it's 32? Like an accusation and kind of invalidating me. And I said, listen, son, I've been doing this 30 years. I know when I see something that is so loud, it can't be denied. It's going to happen whether you want it to or not. And I said, why do you keep talking about this? And he said, I went to 5 other psychics before you, and they all said the same thing. They all said 32 years old, something's going to come down the pike. So, after I was like, they did? I was like, oh my God. So that did happen. So a lot of times the psychics will get the same answer too. It's just that they're giving different readings. The information is basically going to be the same. If you ask about the same question, about the same, I'm asking about my profession. I want to know about my boss. I want to know about my secretary. You know what I mean? The readings are basically going to come up basically the same. Unless the reader is off and the reader didn't clean the cards and is just throwing the cards that are like their own energy, which is a very simple, common mistake to do. So yeah, and maybe, it depends. I mean, everybody's level of ability is different, and the way people deliver information is also different. So they all have a different expression. But if you go to 5 really reputable, hardcore, true, authentic psychics, you're probably, at least 4 of them are going to give you the same rating. Why you would want to go to 5 psychics, I don't, This kid was hoping to hear something else, I guess. And he just kept getting the same answer, which is like a cosmic joke from the universe. So, anyways, I thought it was funny. But God bless that kid. And so there you are. For all I know, he went to 2 other psychics. So we're at 50 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. My name has been Kirk Kerber. If you haven't seen my other vids, please just go to the profile page and start at the beginning. I just started new content 2 weeks ago, and some of them are called Real Healers, The Basics on Becoming a Master Healer, and some of them are called Psychic Talk. And right now, this is the 9th video. So it's been my honor and privilege to be your sacred healer. Thank you, Shakti, Namaste. I hope I've answered all your questions. Please feel free to leave me tons of comments. You want to talk to me personally, my email is down there, kirktv@gmail.com. My website is down there, kirkspiritual.com. And thank you for watching. I will see you next time in the Cyber Temple of Love. Shakti Namaste. And remember, it's not about power. It's about grace. Shakti.